I have to admit, in the end, I ended up probably being a sort of pony-mad child with Black Beauty, which I howled over night after night after night, and that was probably one of my favourites. And then you probably, because you're far too young, we had all these wonderful old-fashioned adventures, you know, wonderful children's stories, and you go on the adventures yourself as a child, you know, Swiss Family Robinson. My sister and brother and I, we always used to go off and camp and pretend we were, you know, stranded with just our animals for company. And it takes you into a sort of multitude of different worlds. I remember going to bed at night and having, you know, quite bad dreams about them.
Well, they don't hold back, do they?
No, they don't hold back. Yeah. Half of you wants to be scared. You know, you want to. You don't want to be scared too much, but it's that sort of frisson, isn't there? Just being a little bit frightened.
Camilla thought the crown would give her power and maybe even acceptance, but respect in the royal family isn't given with a title. It's earned, especially from the Windsor bloodline. And when Camilla started pushing her daughter Laura Lopes into that sacred space, she crossed an unspoken line. Because standing quietly in the background was Princess Anne. Anne doesn't seek headlines, but with a single look or a silent refusal to bow, she sends a message more powerful than any royal decree. And through her daughter Zara, Anne made sure the monarchy remembered who it truly belonged to. This wasn't just a clash between two women. It was the quiet beginning of a royal war that played out across years through speeches, programs, seating charts, and public silence. Once Camilla secured the title of queen, she didn't just want the crown. She wanted control over how the monarchy looked to the public, and that meant inserting herself into more royal events, taking a bigger role in planning, and quietly but deliberately bringing her daughter Laura Lopes into the picture. She didn't make grand announcements or demand Laura be given a title. Instead, Camilla started placing Laura in the right rooms, near the right people, at the right time. Lineups, photo ops, ceremonial spots. Laura was suddenly showing up in places traditionally reserved for those with royal blood. Royal watchers noticed something else too. As Laura's visibility grew, Zara Tintle's presence shrank. Zara, Princess Anne's daughter and the Queen's eldest granddaughter, was slowly being pushed out of the spotlight. She wasn't being cut out completely, but her roles were being trimmed, her name quietly removed from certain appearances, and her visibility softened. It didn't go unnoticed by those inside the palace either. For Camilla, it was a chance to quietly shift the narrative to present Laura as the new face of a modern monarchy. But what she misjudged was the meaning of bloodline to the royal institution. Camilla was inserting someone from outside the Windsor Mountbatten line into a space deeply rooted in legacy. But Camilla forgot one thing. Zara was raised to stand her ground. At a formal Kensington Palace event, Camilla took things one step further. She arranged for Zara to be positioned beside her daughter Laura, expecting deference, maybe even a curtsy. After all, Camilla now outranked most of the royal women in title. But Zara didn't play along. There was no curtsy, no royal smile, just a polite nod, firm, calm, and fully intentional. It wasn't dramatic, but it didn't need to be. In the world of royalty, a missing curtsy sends a louder message than any speech. Zara wasn't being disrespectful. She was showing that titles didn't erase legacy. Charles, standing nearby, caught it. William saw it too. The cameras didn't miss it either. The next morning, several media outlets quietly noted the moment. Zara's steady refusal to acknowledge Camilla's higher position was a quiet echo of Princess Anne's long-standing stance. Zara's resistance wasn't about drama. It was about dignity. She was raised by a woman who bowed to no one, not out of pride, but out of principle. Princess Anne had spent her entire life defending the family's true lineage, and she passed that quiet strength to her daughter. And just when Camilla thought she could outshine the bloodline, she made her boldest move yet. The Youth of the Crown charity event in Edinburgh was supposed to be a celebration of the future. Camilla used the opportunity to take control, of course, once again positioning her daughter, Laura, in a lead role. Behind the scenes, she had Zara's name removed from the speakers list. Laura's name was written in red ink to replace it. Event planners were caught off guard but followed Clarence House's direction. Camilla wanted Laura front and center, this time as the official speaker representing the new royal generation. But Anne found out. A loyal aide passed her the final program just hours before the event. Zara's name, gone. Laura's prominently added. Anne didn't make a scene. She didn't storm into the palace. Instead, she sent the organizers a quiet note. Attached was Zara's original speech and a short message in Anne's handwriting. If you want this event to carry true weight, let Zara speak. That morning, Camilla walked in smiling, proud of the moment she had crafted. Laura, in a cream silk gown, stepped on stage, her voice nervous, her delivery shaky. This was her big debut, but the cracks showed she wasn't ready, and everyone knew it. Then came the twist. As murmurs passed through the press section, phones buzzed with a sudden alert. Lady Zara and Elizabeth Tyndall will speak on behalf of the royal family. Zara appeared in a sharp navy dress, calm, poised, unshaken. She didn't look at Camilla, she didn't need to. Her speech did all the work. She said, "I may not carry the title of a queen, but I was taught that a royal woman never uses the throne to rise above truth. We are here to honor timeless values, service, loyalty, and honor." The applause was immediate. Laura sat down, cheeks flushed. Camilla clenched her handkerchief, silent. What she had planned as a public win became a visible defeat. Camilla came for the spotlight, but what she got was humiliation on camera and in headlines.
A fine marriage is our cultural currency representing our overall cultural values, including an official certifications for your time.
After the charity event in Edinburgh, things didn't calm down. They got colder and far more calculated. Behind the palace walls, the tension between Anne and Camilla finally boiled over into the open. Camilla called for a private high-level royal meeting at Windsor, a new royal initiative she named the Queen's Line. A campaign meant to celebrate modern royal women. She made it clear that Laura, her daughter, would be the figurehead. Camilla described Laura as graceful, grounded, and ready to serve. But the room didn't meet her proposal with enthusiasm. Most sat still. Prince William exchanged a glance with Catherine. Charles remained silent, almost bracing for what would come next. Then Princess Anne stood. She placed a navy folder on the table. "I also have a proposal," she said, opening it slowly. "It's called the Legacy of Service. It honors the values this monarchy was built on: duty, loyalty, and humility, and my daughter Zara will represent it." The silence was thick. Camilla's tone turned icy. "Are you using your daughter as a pawn?" she asked. "Do you truly believe Zara represents the monarchy better than my Laura?" Anne didn't flinch. Her response was, "I taught my daughter not to let her honor be stolen by someone never truly recognized as part of this family." The words landed like a stone. William gave Anne the slightest nod. It was all the confirmation anyone needed. Anne's legacy wasn't just being defended, it was being backed. And if that felt like the final blow, Camilla was about to face her biggest fall in front of the entire world. Queen Elizabeth's first memorial ceremony was meant to be a moment of national unity, a tribute to her reign. Camilla, now queen consort, saw it as something else, the perfect stage to cement her daughter's role in the royal future. Everything was rehearsed. The hall was decorated with white roses, Elizabeth's favorite, a special moment was planned, a candle-lighting ritual, symbolizing the passing of legacy, and standing beside Camilla would be Laura Lopes. Not Zara, but Camilla didn't anticipate what Princess Anne had in store. As Camilla and Laura walked to center stage, the room fell into respectful silence, but before the ritual began, Anne stood from the front row. "I object to this ritual," she said. "This is a memorial for a mother you never bowed to honor. I do not recognize the legitimacy of placing an individual without Windsor Mountbatten blood at the forefront of this national tribute." Then she reached into her bag and pulled out a document, an official ceremonial directive signed by Queen Elizabeth herself. It named Zara Tyndall as the designated representative for all future memorials honoring the Queen. The signature was real. Camilla stood frozen, Laura's face turned pale, and then, with calm authority, Anne motioned toward the wings. Zara stepped out. Her dress was simple, her face composed. On her chest gleamed one of the Queen's medals. She didn't look at Camilla or Laura. She walked forward without hesitation. William stepped down from his place and joined Zara. He took her hand. Together, they lit the memorial candle. The flame flickered gently, but the message burned clear. The room bowed, not to Camilla, Camilla, not to Laura, but to Zara. And in that quiet flame, Camilla saw everything she'd tried to build go up in smoke. The fallout was swift. International media ran with the story. Photos of Zara lighting the candle with William beside her went viral. Laura disappeared from the public eye. The Royal Advisory Council held a private emergency meeting at Buckingham Palace. After hours of quiet discussion, they made a rare move. Camilla was stripped of her authority to lead ceremonial royal duties. Zara was reinstated. Official schedules now listed her by name, with her full ceremonial honors restored. The statement was clear: Queen Elizabeth's choice still stood, and Anne's daughter would not be erased. Camilla's influence had been weakened. The public had turned. The palace had spoken. But there was one final moment that brought it all to a close. Not with fanfare, but with words that cut deeper than any headline. It happened behind closed doors at Balmoral. Princess Anne requested a private meeting with Camilla. "I don't care how many crowns you wear," she said. That was it. No more threats, no appeals. Just the iron will Anne had carried her entire life now pointed directly at the woman who tried to edge her daughter out of history. And a few days later, at a formal diplomat's reception at Lancaster House, Anne offered the world her final word: "I forgive political moves, but I will never forgive anyone who touches my daughter." There was no need to name names. Everyone in the room knew exactly who it was for. It wasn't spoken in anger, it was spoken in stone, and it ended the war. Camilla may hold the crown, she may sit beside the king and wear the robes, but in the hearts of the royal family, Anne and Zara walked away with something far deeper. Because in the House of Windsor, power isn't something you simply inherit, it's something you earn, protect, and carry with dignity. It's what you stand for when the lights go down. It's what you protect when no one else is watching. And on that cold September day, Anne didn't just defend her daughter, she reminded the monarchy what true royalty looks like. So now we want to hear from you. Whose side are you on? Camilla's desperate climb? Or Anne and Zara's quiet strength? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more royal revelations. Because in this family, nothing stays hidden forever.